Lineage Game, Deformation Server. Antarazer's Cave Zone. Our alliance has launched an attack on Antares for the first time in history. A dragon loomed over the Knight George. The creature spewed a fireball towards the knight, causing him to roll down. As he fell, he struggled to catch his breath. Damn it. I said not to start. How can we catch a dragon? Damn it. Is the dragon a joke? Why isn't anyone fighting seriously? If we weren't confident, we should have at least taken resurrection scrolls, said the knight to the fallen warriors nearby. And you, Miranda, say something. In response, Miranda whispered, I died too, I have nothing to say. The dragon opened its mouth right next to George, intending to devour him. The fallen warriors murmured, good luck, sorry we couldn't protect you. The dragon opened its mouth, unleashing a dazzling sphere of light. George realized he couldn't dodge it, but suddenly, a bright beam erupted from below, piercing the dragon. The dragon screamed in pain and recoiled from George. The knight turned around and saw a beautiful warrior accompanied by a bald warrior. Nice magic, Lord Midge, said George to the warrior. I'm a lady today, she replied. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that you showed up in time. Otherwise, I would have been in trouble. Not far away, among the bodies of fallen warriors, a silhouette appeared and said, let's save the greetings for later. Is that voice distant? Exclaimed the warrior. Distant, you came. Buy me some time while I resurrect the guys, requested Distant. Count on us, replied George, gripping his sword. I'll help too, added the bold warrior, swinging his sword. Distant began chanting resurrection spells in a loud voice. He raised his hand up, and a bright light flashed above it. Sheets with inscribed spells broke free from Distant's hand and circled around his hand and the bright light. Distant continued chanting the spells louder and faster. And then the fallen warriors were resurrected. They were 4 beautiful female warriors. They surrounded Distant and started bombarding him with reproaches. If you hadn't come, I wouldn't have let it go so easily. Distant, I thought you were gone forever. Distant interrupted them, saying, all right, I'm glad to see you too. We'll chat later. After we catch Antares. And they all headed together to capture the dragon. Wow, that's some power. No wonder nobody could catch it, said the bold warrior. This time we can do it, shouted George. They all met in the Lineage Game. They had never seen each other before, didn't know what each other did in real life. They didn't know each other's appearance or character. But in the game, they trust and rely on each other. Because they are members of the Alliance. We've been waiting for you. Waiting for you to come to this place and face us, shouted George as he attacked the dragon. 11 months ago. The first connection. George stood by the entrance to the dungeon, inhaling its scent. Everything is as it was before. The smell of the dungeon. I missed it, he exclaimed joyfully. Hey, Jorg, a voice called from behind. You came. Jorg exclaimed with delight, turning towards the sound of the voice. Congratulations on your dismissal. Richard greeted him. And I'm discharged from the army. Why were you discharged? I envy you. Jorg said, shaking Richard. Oh, calm down. It's a joke. Richard said. I was just kidding. It's good to see you. You have no idea how much I struggled without you, Jorg said. Anyway, guys, I'm glad to see you. Have you become more popular? Harry answered, no, not really. It's just rumors. We've been without our leader. Richard made a suggestion, since we're all here, how about some killings in honor of our return? A big one-time event. I've already spotted some game. So, what do you think? Oh, killings. I was just about to mention that, Jorg responded. I would love to hunt together and reach the maximum level. Hasn't attacking users become boring for you? Richard persisted. We're always avoiding anything serious. What happened to you? Did you eat something wrong? You weren't like this before. You were cruel to the weak, always confident. If something interesting came up, you would wake up immediately and join the game. Where has our leader gone? Jorg even grimaced at such a characterization. Of course, I always had fun without paying attention to anything. But was I really that terrible? Yes. Did you increase your sword skill by +10? If so, we should not just hunt, but create a massacre, Richard remarked. Or did you say you increased it by +10 just to get attention? Did you lie? What? Jorg protested. I'm just kidding. You wouldn't lie like that, Richard laughed. Can a leader lie about +10? No way. Jorg became angry and shouted with frustration. You're getting on my nerves with your jokes. Fine, I understand you. Follow me. I'll show you everything you want. And he led them forward. And there they saw a knight in green armor battling a huge monster wielding a scepter. They stopped and began to watch the fight. Harry, observing the duel, said, Jorg, that guy is known for his maximum set. It will be tough for you even with a +10 sword. Jorg sharply turned around, bringing his face close to Harry's, and shouted angrily, "What? Do you think I'll lose to some freak with a full set?" "That's not what I meant," muttered Harry, trying to free himself from Jorg's grip as he shook him vigorously. "All right, let's make a deal then," Richard interjected. "If you defeat him, I'll give you 10 million coins in honor of your return. What do you say, Jorg? 10 million coins. Yes, 10 million coins. All right, pay close attention," said Jorg to his companions as he headed towards the combatants. And so, with a lightning-fast strike, Jorg swiftly defeated the monster, pushing the knight in green armor aside. And, sticking his tongue out at the bewildered knight, he said, "Hey, dude. Go hunt somewhere else. This is my territory." "All right. I apologize," they heard the departing knight say. "Hey, don't you have an ounce of pride? If someone bothers you, you should fight back instead of running away like a coward. Act like a man, not a rag." Jorg persisted, swinging his sword forcefully against the knight's back. The fallen knight indignantly retorted, "I was just hunting. Why are you acting this way? I even gave up my spot. Enough with the questions. Just die." Jorg swung his sword at him. The knight raised his own sword to defend against the blow. The clash of metal resounded. "Wow. Look, Richard. Jorg wasn't lying about the +10, exclaimed Harry. "Yeah, that's right. Let's start preparing slowly. We need to acquire the +10 sword," Richard whispered quietly. George continued to fight the knight in green armor. "Defend yourself. Is that all you can do?" shouted George in his face. "Show your strength. You really do have a +10 sword." "But that's impossible," the knight said, puzzled. "Just a moment, pause." And he started pouring red liquid into his mouth from 2 bottles at once to replenish his strength. "Damn it, I'm running out of energy, too. I need to recharge, too," thought Jorg. But looking at his team, which was watching him intently, he gave up the idea. "No, only by winning the fight without the potion and everything else would the guys acknowledge my victory." And the guys, standing to the side, commented on the fight. "Such a weakling should be finished off at once. As expected of our leader, didn't drink anything to replenish his strength. You're not going to drink a potion like that weakling, are you?" Jorg was indignant. "Hey, have you ever seen me carry around a potion? I'm still full of energy." Though he only had strength left for 2 attacks. So it was necessary to finish the fight as quickly as possible. And so they came together and crossed swords. Jorg put all his skill and experience into action. He dodged and struck the fatal blow. He won, but he almost lost his own legs in the process. He was on the verge of death. George, with his head held high, walked up to the boys. Harry and Richard picked him up and started rocking him. "You're a hero. You're the best. Let go of me." Put him on the ground. Tried to break free George. "That's what we expected from our leader. You're the best." "I wanted to stop," said Richard. "Don't flatter," George replied. Meanwhile, Harry and Margot were examining the ammunition on the dead knight. "He's got a sword 8. What a find. Take his armor and weapons as my gift to him. I'm off, I've got things to do. I'll see you later." As he left, Jorg threw over his shoulder. "And I thought to myself, I must hurry back to the village and regain my strength. I don't want to hurt my pride by drinking the potion in front of them." "Hey, George, wait!" Richard shouted after him. "What do you want? I told you I have to go. Aren't you forgetting something? Have you forgotten?" "What have I forgotten?" Jorg is surprised. "Come here." George approached Richard suspiciously. "Don't you want 10 million coins? I promised you." Richard smiled, holding out a bag of coins. That's right. I forgot. Thank you." George held out his hand to the bag. "You have nothing to thank me for. I should be the one to thank," Richard shouted, stabbing Jorg in the stomach with his treacherous blade. "Was it in honor of your dismissal? All right, you can heal me now." George wheezed, lying on the ground. "Do you think this is a joke?" Richard was astonished as he took Jorg's sword in his hand. "Hey, but we are friends." "Friends? Where do you see friends?" Richard sneered. "You are a fool. You think you're in charge, don't you? You idiot." George spat out the words. "I don't know. Sword 10 is mine. Such a gift, not even a dream. Isn't he the boss?" Richard laughed. "Anyway, thanks for the sword 10. Speaking of which, isn't it time for you to come back to reality? And now don't even come near us. If you catch my eye, you'll die by my sword 10. "Stop, you bastards!" shouted Jorg after them. "Bastards! My sword is 10. Yes, the maximum level was right in front of my nose. What a pity," sighed Jorg. "Richard, you bastard! I'll get my revenge on you, you bastard! I'll find you and I'll kill you." The beasts had already surrounded him, sensing his weakness. They were werewolves. They were trying to bite through his armor to get at his body. Looking at them, Jorg cursed. Have these dogs lost their fear at all, or what? Then he saw a beautiful girl emerge from the forest with a sword in one hand and a vial of red liquid in the other. She handed him the vial with the words, "Take it. Restore your strength." And she dashed toward the werewolves, waving her sword. "Who's the newcomer?" said Jorg, astonished. "I'd never seen her before." And the girl scattered the beasts in a short time, stabbing one with her sword. The others fled in fear. Then she turned to Jorg and, seeing his ragged clothes from the creature's teeth, said, "They've been roughing you up a lot. They've ruined all your ammunition. They say werewolves come in packs. Even at 15th level it's hard for me to deal with them. So take a potion. You'll need it yourself." With that, Jorg tossed her the vial and turned to leave. "Hey, wait. Wait," she grabbed his arm. "It will be hard for you to get to the village in your condition. Take the potion. Don't refuse. And here's some coin to buy you some ammunition." She handed him a pouch of coins. "Use the remaining coins to buy a potion and a teleport scroll. I'm already getting sympathy from the newbies. I've come a long way." After handing over the potion and coins, the girl ran into the woods, shouting as she went, "And one more thing. If you're interested in joining an alliance, you're welcome to the Handsome Alliance." "How? Handsome? Okay, first I'll take refuge in a secluded place and work out a plan. So, what should I do with the armor? Even though I lost sword 10, but if I can enhance it. But if I fail, I'll lose them too." Then remembering his abusers, he shouted with rage, "I'll get you bastards. I got sword 10. Can't I get sword 9 again? Power gloves first. Did it really work? I did it. But damn. I spent so much money on it." That's right, though. To get something worthwhile, you have to sacrifice something. It's time for sacrifice. Yes. This should do it. No. It didn't work. It was my own fault. George was cursing himself with the last words. And then he heard a conversation coming from behind the bushes. There are still such naive fools. Yer wants to be a monarch just by improving his set. That's hilarious. What's a level 15 set? I told him, and he improved his set to sword 6 and armor 4. Ridiculous. Yer. You can't get a set in one kill. Looking out from behind the tree, Jorg saw 3 people. He decided not to go out, but to listen further. "I have a plan." "What is it?" "The resurrection scroll. Let's get rid of the soul. The resurrection scroll can resurrect a dead player without his consent. Once resurrected, you can kill him immediately 4 points and experience. And this can be done several times, until the player subjected to this action is eliminated from the game. Those bastards want to resurrect someone and then kill them," thought Jorg. "I may kill players, but this is too much. I don't know who they're talking about. And actually, who cares? I have enough problems of my own." He turned around and started to walk away. But he heard a familiar voice, "Hey, guys. I'm here. Sorry I'm late." Jorg looked around and saw the girl who had saved him from the werewolves. "That's okay, we just got here too." One of the men who spoke answered. And the other man ordered, all humbly, "Bow to Miranda, the leader of the pretty men. Can I not salute like this? It's embarrassing." Miranda was embarrassed. "No. Everyone must see the strength of our alliance leader. We must respect the leader. Then the others won't look down on us. So once again, everybody be quiet. Here we go again. You put on a show here." George snorted. "So, Miranda, could you improve your armor?" "Yes, I did. Just as you said." She pointed to her sword, and gave the rest to the newcomers. At these words the trio even shed tears of tenderness. "We'd wasted half our lives if we hadn't met you." Miranda told them, "I didn't do anything special. I will develop and help you." "Yes. Our leader. Then shall we go hunting?" Miranda raised her hand. "Everyone follow the leader," shouted her 3 companions at the same time. "Yes, I see. So naive. She had better stop playing as soon as possible." Jorg commented on what he saw. He thought about his problems and how to solve them. It came to him again from behind the bushes. Killing is so easy. I don't get it. What's all this garbage? George looked out from behind the tree again and saw Miranda lying on the ground, her companions crowding around her, one holding a naked sword in his hand. "Hurry up and resurrect her. We have many resurrection scrolls." The resurrected Miranda answered them with a smile. "You guys are such jokes. I was scared." There was laughter in response. "I guess our leader hasn't figured it out yet, huh?" He didn't. Miranda was beginning to guess, but there was no time left. The one with the sword had already raised it over Miranda to the shouts of his partners. "Come on, finish her off. Die beautifully. And give up your objects." And so the sword, cleaving the air, began to fall on Miranda's head. But it did not reach its target, meeting unexpected resistance. It turned out to be a arm in armor, set up by George for the blow. "You bastards! Are you going to do this horror here? Though I'm no angel, I can't let that happen," shouted George, drawing his sword. "At least kill them where I can't see them. I have a post-traumatic condition as it is. Everything pisses me off. So, to get a compensation for the stress I received, maybe I'll beat your faces in? Is that okay with you?" The one with the sword said. "What? Wait. I just now noticed you look exhausted, and you're not wearing any normal gear. While we're at it, let's kill him too. Though he's got nothing." The other one agreed. "Though you think I've got nothing. But I'll break every bone in your body anyway. Come on, come on." George answered, clenching his fists. "What is he talking about? Come on, boys, let's count his ribs." "Who? Are you going to count my ribs? How naive." While George was saying this, one of the three men came right up to him. George hit the shield he was shielding with his fist so hard that the attacker flew 10 meters away along with the shield. The other attacker fired an arrow straight at George's head. But it missed its target. George intercepted the arrow with his hand right in his face. "That's impossible!" the archer exclaimed. "Do you know who I am?" Breaking the arrow, George asked. "Even if they took away all my weapons along with my 10 sword, I still have a +10 fist." He took down another attacker with a blow of his fist. And the third, realizing he had no chance, tried to run away, flashing his heels. George approached the attacker, who was carrying a sword, and said, "You betrayed your leader in such a terrible way. You are just rotten." He stepped on the man lying there and pressed on. "Are you men?" I asked. "Are you people? What are you going to do now? What will you do with my sword 10? George yelled at him, slapping his cheeks with his hand. "What sword 10? I don't understand." He shook his head. "You talk too much." George slapped him further. "Because of idiots like you, the whole country is in decline. That's why you're going to get punched in the face 100 more times." "No. Don't. I have nothing to do with the country." He begged me. "I'm sick of your whining. Shut up. Take that." George kept hitting him. Then George made them do push-ups until sundown, until they were exhausted and exhausted. "Now get out of here," George shouted at them. "And stay out of my sight." Miranda looked at George with admiring eyes and thought, "I'm surprised. He's so cool." After the trio left, George went too, immersed in his own thoughts. Miranda followed. When he heard her following him, he asked, "Why are you following me?" "I want to thank you for your help, but I don't know how." "Make no mistake about it. I wasn't really going to save you. But still, you saved me, didn't you?" "Actually, if you want to thank me, there is a way." "Anything?" Miranda nodded happily. "My +10 sword. I had a 10. If you want to thank me, find me my 10 sword." "Wow, it was hard for me to get a sword 6. And you have a sword 10. Miranda was surprised. "You can't get it, can you? So leave me alone and don't bother me. I've got enough problems besides you." George tried to get away from her. It is almost impossible to earn a lot of coins by normal labor to buy normal ammunition. The only way left is to kill players. There is also an animal that can collect items. The animal needs a certain amount of time to absorb items. If you kill an animal that did not have time to absorb an item, you can get that item. And the player using the altered item can also turn into an animal. And then there is a new way to kill a player. If players catch the altered player thinking that the player is an animal, the attacking player goes into a stupor state, paralyzed. Then the village patrol comes and kills the player in the stupor state. If the patrol kills the player in the stupor, the player drops his items. And the player who picks up those items will turn into an animal. The player notices the animal getting closer to the item. He realized it was about to devour him and rushed toward the animal screaming, "Stop! Get away from that sword quickly! Great! Come on, kill me!" The animal thought. "Come on! Come on! And let your sword be the beginning of my revenge. And then Miranda's voice rang out, "Hey, George. What are you doing out there? Oh, shit. Stay there, you fool. Stay back. You'll ruin everything," thought Jorg, in his animal state. The player stopped in confusion, looking at the animal. "What is it?" "Jorg. Now I see. You wanted to kill me. That was close." He turned and walked away, happy that he was only one step away from death. Miranda came up to Jorg and asked him, "What are you doing turning into an animal?" "I have good news." "Good news?" "I'm not really in the mood for good news right now," George scolded, spitting out the grass he chewed as an animal. "No, look what I've got," Miranda said cheerfully, holding out her sword. "It's Armor Boy. Good against evil spirits. Maybe it can replace your sword 10? George knocked the sword out of her hands and yelled, "You brought some trash. What are you doing? Why the hell are you following me? I almost caught that sucker. And you ruined it. He had at least a +7 sword. And I could have gotten it before you got here. But that's cheating, isn't it? You've been through it yourself. That's not good, is it?" Miranda said with tears in her eyes. "But I would get a +7 sword. But it's still wrong. It's a violation of the rules." Jorg kept yelling at her anyway. "Really? What does what I do have to do with you anyway? Why do you keep bugging me?" Miranda stood in front of him, not knowing what to say. "You don't even have anything to say. So get out of my way and go where you're going. Go away. Because of you, things don't work out. But I want to get stronger too. Teach me," Miranda pleaded. "I thought the game would be interesting. But after what happened to me, I want to get stronger. Like you. Because if I become stronger, I'll have the power to help others. Please teach me how to be stronger." Jorg stopped, thought about it, scratched his head and said, "All right, fine." "Really?" Miranda exclaimed happily. "Yes, but in return you will pay me 50,000 coins a month." "What?" She trailed off. 50,000 coins a month. "Or don't you want to be strong anymore?" Meanwhile, the three scoundrels who had deceived Miranda were kneeling in the castle before the throne on which their lord sat, listening to her accusations. "So you have failed?" "Yes, I'm sorry." "All right, shall you go?" "Yes, is it true, we are free?" They couldn't believe their luck. "Oh, you want punishment? Well, then get it." And she swung a huge whip. "No, no. We're leaving now." They rushed to the door. Left alone, she began to reason, even though they are stupid, they are not weak enough to lose to one man. Especially an unarmed man. And his not so easy, it turns out. "I want to play with him." Jorg began to teach Miranda fighting techniques. In her first lesson she had already fought a werewolf who was armed with a mace. It was a dangerous fight. The werewolf was huge, strong, and evil. But Miranda was able to defeat him by piercing him with her sword. As she drank a potion to restore her strength after the battle, she remembered Jorg telling her about the payment of 50,000 coins for her training. Meanwhile, in the village, another girl player named Kate was dragging a heavy sack on her back that passers-by thought it was a goblin, not a human. Then the sack burst open and a shiny object fell out. An animal standing nearby headed toward it. Kate, seeing what she had lost, shrieked and rushed toward the object and snatched it right out from under the muzzle of the animal that was about to devour it. Proudly raising her hand with the salvaged object, she said, "You stupid animal, how dare you trespass on my objects? I worked so hard to collect them." And then, hearing some sort of chuckling, she turned her head at the sound and froze in horror. The sack, thrown in a hurry, had been torn open, and a group of animals were assiduously devouring its contents. "My bag! My items! That's a shame! Because of one item, lost a whole bunch of items. How am I supposed to clean up this whole mess on my own?" And then Kate heard someone's voice, "Are you okay? Let me help you clean up. It was Miranda, who was walking by and saw that someone was in trouble. The two of them quickly picked up the scattered items. Thank you so much, Miranda. We made it fast. Thank you for your help. Thanked Kate. You're welcome. All players should help each other in trouble. But why do you need this trash we've been picking up? It may seem like a pile of junk at first glance, but you can get rich selling it. Kate answered. Do you really think you could make a lot of money that way? Miranda wondered. Certainly. It would bring out even more coins than from hunting. Then let's work together. Miranda suggested. I really need 50,000 coins. I'll do it. Kate said yes. What do you need 50,000 coins for? It's for George. I have to pay him 50,000 coins every month. What? Miranda, are you in bondage, or are you the only breadwinner in the family? No, I'm not. It's just that he promised to teach me how to be strong. Miranda said. And then she told Kate her story, and how George had saved her. He must be very strong, huh? Kate marveled. Yes. He is. He punishes all the bad players with his fists. Then Miranda saw something shiny lying in the road. It was a ring. She reached out to pick it up, but suddenly someone's boot stepped on the ring. Miranda looked up and saw the very perpetrators. Look who we have here. Is our leader so broke that she's reduced herself to trash talking? Miranda, do you know them? Kate came forward. Of course we know her. They laughed. You and I are in the same fraternity. Right, leader. As they scoffed, Miranda remembered with horror how they had deceived her. And her abusers continued to sneer, why are you frozen? We haven't seen each other in so long, and you don't even want to say hello. Said one of them, extending his hand toward her. With a swipe of her hand from the side, Miranda threw back the hated hand reaching out to her. Wow! How brave you've become! Surprised the man. Bastards! Bastards! Leave her alone! Kate was the one who rushed to her friend's defense. But immediately she was on the ground, knocked to the ground. That's scary. A trio of insolent men gloated. One of them looked into the bag and said to the others, hey, look. There's a lot of money in here, besides the garbage. It's mine. Get your filthy paws off me. Now! Shouted Kate to them. Hands off. I'll touch it. What are you gonna do to me? You don't know who's in charge yet. And there's a sword drawn over Kate. In a moment it would come down on her head. But he wasn't happy, figuring that at this rate it would take them a long time to raise the funds for good armor. I don't want to wait a whole month. I guess it's a matter of luck here. Or should I take another chance? All right, I'll take my chances. I can't believe it worked. Then the bag of coins fell with a bang. Jorg shuddered. He yelled at the girls, what have you got there? You almost gave me a heart attack. You two idiots, get your act together. And then from somewhere appeared a huge stone monster. Girls entered into a fierce battle with him. The monster threw Miranda to the ground with a blow of the hand, but then Kate jumped up with her sword to protect her friend. Miranda, are you all right? This is our chance. No, it's okay. Let's nail this stone bastard. Yeah. Come on. Let's take him down, Kate. Let's attack at the same time. And they both stabbed the monster with their swords at the same time, and from that double blow it shattered into pieces and turned into a pile of stones. We did it. We're so cool. The girls rejoiced. Jorg was sad to see them hugging each other for joy, and said, God, how stupid you are. If you make such rash attacks on the stone monster, do you even know what happens to your weapons? There was a roar. They turned to see a shapeshifter standing among the monster's remains. He seemed to be attracted by all the fuss we were making. Kate remarked. Well, that's all right. We'll deal with you in a minute. Wait. That was Miranda. What is it? Kate called back. My sword isn't strong enough. The werewolf was already upon them. There was something wrong with their swords after the attack on the stone monster. They couldn't hit the werewolf. Jog, seeing they had no chance, had to intervene. And with a powerful punch of his fist, sent the werewolf flying. Is there anything you can do by yourselves? He asked the girls a question. Don't you know that if you so rashly slash at a stone monster with your sword, you can kiss goodbye to the strength of your weapons? Well, there it is. We didn't know that. Catch. And Jog threw them a stone. It's a sharpening stone. You need to sharpen your swords with it to bring them back to their former state. Carry the stone with you at all times. And they began to sharpen their swords diligently under George's supervision. And now Miranda's sharpened sword began to shine brightly in the sun. Miranda said joyfully, "Look, Jog. The sword is as it was when I bought it." "Well, why are you so glowing with joy?" Jog cooled her joy. "Let's start with the fact that this sword is crap." "All right. I have to go into town for a while, so keep hunting without me. I'll be back soon. Until then, try not to die."